Hey folks, how's it going? We've had a little bit of a break, but now it's time to get back on the Zero to Hero series. Before starting though, we've got a little gift from Cygames. This gift is 2 Colossus Kane Omega level 100 skill level 10 and an extra Colossus Summon. Now, since I don't want to rely on handouts, I'm going to have to omit this from the auto-select. Still, it's a very nice gesture from Cygames to try and help the new buys. We're going to have to earn these. So, back to us. I was working on my pinboard and I noticed the quest to get 1000 chips from the casino, so I thought I'll stop for a moment and try and explain how this all works. The Jewel Resort Casino has a banner on your home page, and by accessing it, you can play one of 3 games: poker, slots or bingo. We already have 200,000 chips down here, which come either from gifts or login rewards. And by accessing the hole, you can check the Super Jackpot rewards and click on some of these sparkly items which give you some chips. But there's so few it's barely even worth clicking on them. So let's head back and check out why you should play casino. Down in the casino cage, you can check out which rewards you can purchase with your chips. Here we've got some skins for the main cast characters, the best ones being Catalina's and Rosetta's, especially Rosetta's. We've got Enat, which is a 50% wind attack up summon that goes up to 80%. She used to be one of the best wind summons available, but for now we'll see if we can skip her and just move on straight from the event summon to the Magna. Another decent reward is this levitating sword, not so much for the weapon itself, but for the fact that when you reduce this sword, you get as many items as if you were reducing a gacha weapon. Here in the second page, we see there's 3 more Peridot carbuncles. These are going to be very useful to uncap the one we got from the pinboard. Right below it there's some Omega Enemas for hosting your own Magna raids, and some elixirs and soul berries. These restock each month, up to 100 and 200 respectively, and it's a good habit to check in each day to get your 5 potions and 10 berries. Alright, now that we're done with the shop, let's go back and start checking out the games. In the first place we've got the poker, and this is going to be the best place for you to get your chips. You can safely ignore anything above the 1000 chips bet. And in here, the mod you want to play is the 2 cards one, since it gives you a reference and you actually bet if the card is higher or lower than the one you just pulled. We start by pressing deal. Here we need to look for a set of cards that will allow us to play the higher or lower minigame. We're always going to keep the Joker, but we don't have any other combination in here, so we push OK. This will give us another set of cards other than the one we're keeping, and sadly we only get 1 pair, so we deal again and hope for a better hand. Here we would need a 3 and a 7, but this is a fairly rare occurrence, so I'm just going to reroll them all. 2 kings and a joker. We already have a 3 of a kind, and this will allow us to play the higher or lower minigame. Of course we're going to click yes. And here we start with our guessing game. We need to guess whether the card that's face down is higher or lower value than the card on the left. And the card on the left being a king, the only higher value card would be an ace, so the chances are it's lower. In here there is no lower card than a 2, so it's obviously going to be higher. There are only 4 cards higher than a 10, but sadly we got unlucky. As you can see, the game is fairly fast paced and you get a lot of chances to play the higher or lower minigame. If you notice, the card that you reveal is the one that moves on to the left, so whenever you turn a card, you already know what you will have to bet on your next step. Every time you get a correct answer, your bet increases. This can go up to 15 times I believe, and our objective is to get as high as possible, ideally run till the end. The main issue with this is that the chances of guessing correctly 14 to 15 times are very slim, so you will be losing time and time again waiting for that big win. Meanwhile, the good part about it is that that one big win is going to make up more than enough for all the losses that you've had to deal with so far. Oh, nice, we got a full house. And we start with a 10,000 bet that is going to double each time we guess correctly. Sadly, draws don't count. Now, it might just be RNG, or it might be rigged, but when you have a higher starting bet, the number of the cards that you start getting end up veering a bit more towards the 6, 7 and 8 range, just so that it's more difficult for you to guess correctly. In this run, we've been very lucky so far, but we've hit a 7 and we are already up to 320,000, so rather than taking a 50-50 chance, I would prefer to stop here. And this is what I was talking about before. We want 320,000 chips, so we can play this game another 320 times. And chances are we will get another big win way before we hit that threshold. Again, this is probably the safest method to earn chips. It only takes some time and a lot of patience. The next game are the slot machines. And like before, we are only aiming for the highest paying one. These ones I could never get to work. I've tried playing half an hour on max bets and half an hour on one bet, but the amount of chips only kept going down. The little wins that you get every now and then aren't enough to make up for the losses. So my suggestion for everyone would be to just skip this. Unless, of course, Games decides to step in and put some achievements with crystal rewards for winning a set amount of chips with each game. The third game, and possibly the best one due to how mindlessly it is to play, is the bingo. Here we're just going to join the 20% room and bet as many chips as we can, to max out on the amount of chips that we win should we hit a bingo. And play! Now, the amount of wild balls here is random and goes from 6 to 4. These give you a head start towards your bingo and can make or break your board sometimes. Every time a ball rolls in and you click on your square, you get one bonus. Once you fill all 3, you get an extra ball just for you. And as you can see, the balls and the squares are color coded. Whenever a ball is the same number and color of a square, that square turns diamond. And you need to make a bingo with those diamonds in order to win the super bingo of 77 million. We are getting a little bit unlucky here, but on the third roll we're going to get our bonus, and the bonus ball is always a diamond. And that guy already got a bingo. He's the first one to do so and is going to get 10 times the amount of chips he bet. The second one to get a bingo is only going to get 5 times the amount of chips he bet, and the third one I believe is only going to get 1 time. This has been a fairly bad run for us, but bingo isn't usually this cruel. So let's try again. When it comes to earning chips, this is a way slower method than the poker, but this requires little to no attention, so you can play it while watching a movie or something. Here all we need are 2 balls to complete 3 different rows. And now we are 1 away, an 18 and we've got a bingo. This can be fairly fast sometimes. Alright, 18 or a 7. The 19 doesn't do anything for us, and sadly neither does the bonus ball. We're up to 3 different numbers to get our bingo. And there's an 18. Nice! We are also the first person to get a bingo in this room, and for that we're getting 100,000 chips. Again, very little compared to the 320,000 that we got from poker. But with our pinball mission complete and with some chips on the side to purchase more elixirs and berries, we can go on to no more questing. Just one little thing to add, I managed to join a crew. This gives me access to a couple of little bonuses that we can check up under the support icon. These are 2 green potions at the beginning of any quest, 20% increase to the drop rates in any battle, having my character start with the battle with 30% charge bar, and a 10% boost to rank points earning. These are going to be very helpful into increasing my account rank and unlock the Magna raids a little bit sooner. Now we can finally go and finish the Duelist of Eternity side story to get its SSR weapon. This side story isn't like the other ones. This one is for a collaboration event with the Shadowverse game, and usually these sorts of collaborations are always extremely easy in order to try and lure in players from the other games. This one is no exception. Unlike the hard times we've had against a couple of bosses in the other side stories, Mordecai here should go down without a problem, even if you're fighting with no elemental advantage. So here I'm going to use a healing skill to increase the pet passive level to 2 and grant the ultimate 15% charge bar. Sadly, MC didn't manage to double attack, so we can't Ogi on this turn. We're just going to have to defend for now. The debuffs aren't a big deal. A full team Ogi should make short work of Mordecai. And also we can stack the Enad Summon, which has a 20% attack buff, on top of the main character's own attack buff. Since this buff is from 2 different sources, the effect is going to stack. There are some exceptions to this rule, but generally that's the gist of it. The source of a buff or an effect can come from a skill, an Ogi, a summon, or a passive skill, and each should stack with the others. God damn, it is still alive at 2%. But thankfully this Mordecai isn't reviving. If anything, this fight is fairly easy to farm, so we might actually want to repeat this one in order to unlock Luna and her weapon. Luna is a very easy unlock, she only costs 5 tokens and she's going to be our first dark character. The silver bow we've already gotten from the quest, but we have access to a second, and we're going to have to work a little bit harder for the Bellringer Angel. But as the game advertises us with the Defender Sword side story, we still have 2 more waiting to be completed, Blade of the Young Champion and Balmy Breeze and the Foamy Deep. And I would like to give props to Cygames for putting 2 summer side stories so early in the game. They clearly know what they're doing. So, Jean joins us at the very beginning of the event, so we will have 1 more Earth character to go through it. As far as the details go, yeah, Cygames clearly knows what they're doing. For now, let's go fix up our Earth team. Sig can go away and she's going to get replaced by the newcomer. Just a quick look at Jin to know where to slot him. He can boost his own attack by using charge bar, he can deal some damage and boost his own charge bar, and transfer charge bar to an ally by using 20% of his own charge bar. He also has a 200% maximum charge bar limit. That means that I probably want him in the 4th slot. That is so that the other people who can Ogi before him can transfer more charge bar to him, so that he can better use his charge bar costing skills or get more easily to the 200% charge bar mark, so that he can Ogi twice in a single turn. This looks fine, but since Yugen is going to get his own ignition skill that just instantly fills his charge bar, Yugen can move up to the 2nd slot. Okay, that looks a whole lot better. And soon we're going to get Jury, which is going to replace Walder in the middle slot. Weapon-wise, we're still down to the auto-select for the best statted ones, and with the bow and the wind spear we already have a couple of weapons that are worth skilling up. So I guess we will look into weapon skills and skill levels fairly soon. For now, let's see what this summer side story has to offer. Alright. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh no! Oh no!
FBI, open up!